What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, in today's video, we are going over Ada Cardano as its price is in a moment that could be super implicative of what we can expect not only over the next few weeks, but possibly even the next few months. So with that being said, of course, let's go ahead and let's get straight into it. So when it comes to Ada, we've been tracking this trend line for about 2 months now. Now this trend line was established on April 4th, and we also got another confirmation of it on May 7th, in which we are now revisiting it at this point, and with this rejection confirming this as a key level of significance. Now, one thing I know about Ada after studying it for a few years now is that it is super reliant on trend lines to the bottom side and the top side. For example, look at the trend line of support that we have been following since September of last year, right? Realistically, for 8 to 9 months, we have been bouncing off of the same exact level of support, just showing the significance of this trend line itself. You can even go as far to say if you look at something of this nature, right? In which you see, this trend line in which we were following here, in which we finally came up. We had 3 points of resistance, we broke it, back tested it, held it as support, and that allowed us to go in to set the new all-time high. Ada is super reliant on trend lines for breakouts and confirmations, and we can see that we are in a moment now which very possibly could give us another one of those confirmations. So what we can see at this point is that after this rejection on May 31st, we came back down and are now revisiting this trend line after these last strong days of green. Now, what will be very important is that we look at this from a broad perspective to say, what do we need to see from Ada for us to believe that this is a good time to buy, that we expect some more gains to follow? Well, what I'm going to say is that it's a 2-step confirmation for me at this point. First and foremost, I want to see this trend line get cleared, of course. And once this trend line gets cleared, I then want to see us break the 70-cent level. Now, the reason that I want to see us break the 70-cent level is because although the breaking of this trend line is great, this zone is extremely liquid with bearish resistance. We know that in this zone, this is when clearly the bears are the most active in causing these wick candles because they are immediately pushing this market back down. If we go over to something like bookmap for further confirmation, you can look and see here 65 cents, 66 cents, 67 cents, 68 cents. There is so many sell orders sitting within this zone because people are expecting the price to not be able to clear it. And that is a key identifier to show us that this is going to be a zone of extreme importance for us to be able to clear. Of course, if you do want access to bookmap, I do have a link with my referral code down below. But overall, what I'm going to say is that we need this 2-step confirmation of, again, first and foremost, getting back above the trend line, and second of all, getting back above 70 cents. Now, what's interesting is that if we do get back above 70 cents, a very strong bullish structure will play out, which we could consider, in my opinion, this cup and handle pattern. Now, I know we did have this wick down to this level, but I do believe that I like to look at structure off of closes, and our closes are giving us this very strong structure in which we do have, boom, this cup and handle pattern. Now, some could say, of course, that the cup line would be at this level here, and I would agree, but considering the fact that we do have to worry about this zone of liquidity and resistance right here, I'm just going to go ahead and call our cup line 70 cents to 69 cents. Now, in an event in which we do break 70 to 69 cents, we can then go ahead to say that our cup, this thing here, this structure here, is going to give us a breakout target. Now, our breakout target on a cup and handle pattern is the depth of the cup added to the top of the cup line. And if we go ahead and we do that, we can see that our breakout target would be back up towards $1.05, which does look like a growth of somewhere up to 52 to 53%. Now, is it just going to be that easy? Absolutely not. But it is nice to have a bullish structural establishment that gives us a breakout target and a reason to start to see some growth towards the upside from a technical perspective. Now, if we were to say reach $1.07, that does give us a very strong breakout target. Of course, that is going to be within our Fibonacci zone here. If we do go ahead and see, that does give us a full breaking of the short-term 786 level, which is always an important milestone for us to clear. That also gets us back above the psychological level of $1 to say that we could very possibly be continuing back to the top side now that we cleared such an important level such as $1. And that also does give us a new local high back above this wick high in which we saw back here. So for all of those reasons, it does go to say that if we can start to make progress above 70 cents, we could be in a position in which we finally start to see Ada Cardano getting momentum. Now, not only that though, if we do look at this from the macro, of course, we do have a very key level of resistance right here, which is the long-term trend line that we've been under since September, and do understand that if any point we do now break towards $1.05 again, that does get us back above that trend line as well, and that gives us a complete breakout of not only the the short-term trend line, but the long-term trend line, and that could very possibly be the moment we're looking for to say that we are now out of this death channel in which we have been in recently. Now, if we look at this from an even more zoomed out perspective, one thing you can see that a move of this nature, a move back above this key short-term trend line that we are trapped under right now, also gives us this weekly MACD cross, which has historically given us some pretty strong gains. What we can see is that we are very close to seeing this bullish MACD cross happen, and in the event in which we do so, again, historically good things have happened. Looking here, I'm going to mark out the last couple times we saw this bullish MACD cross just to show you what has happened. The last 3 times we've gotten this bullish MACD cross was whenever we saw this nice pump here from bottom to top. Of course, that was a 66% gain there. This was also going to be the result of another move that was around 190% from the moment we did cross to the top. I mean, that was still a gain of over 115%. And the time before that was, of course, right before we saw this massive move towards the upside. Now, I know that the market is not in the same, situation that it was back in, 2020 or 2021. We're in a much rougher time in the market in the world right now. Bitcoin is not looking the most bullish right now. So it doesn't mean that this is for sure going to happen. But the only thing we can do is look at history and apply it to the future to see what could happen. And what very possibly could happen is that if we start to make this move back above 70 cents, I would not be, shocked to see a push back up towards $1.05 to retest some of these higher levels. Okay. So it'll be very important to pay very, very, very close attention to how we start interacting on the daily charts and how do we start looking to break the short-term trend line and then getting back above 70 cents. If we're capable of doing so and making this move, there probably will be a short-term pullback, but I do believe we will be able to continue to the top side, and I personally will start to accumulate on my long-term position as well as opening up some long trades, again expecting a revisit to at least 90 cents, but even as high as $1.05. So overall, that's what I'm looking at for today for Ada Cardano. Be on the lookout for this breakout. If we do not get this breakout, do expect us to then revisit back to 53 cents, back to this key level of support here. And obviously, if we do lose this key level of support, there's a strong chance we come back down to the bottom side of this channel, which could look like a revisiting of this previous level of support around 38 cents. So if we break to the top side, look for 70 cents to get cleared. If we break to the bottom side, look for 53 cents to get cleared. And from there, I would personally start to short Ada, expecting at least a visit back down to 45 cents, which could be some type of move of, let's see this, about 15% on 2 to 3x leverage is what I trade on. So that could be a gain of anywhere from 30 to even 45% if we do invalidate this bullish move and we end up losing 53 cents as support. Okay, so overall, you guys know, again, I am saying that it could go up or it could go down, and I'm saying that because I don't know what it's going to do. But what I do know is that I can prepare for any outcome and I can set up trades for the top side or the bottom side, of course, to maximize gains in crypto no matter what this market has to offer. So with that said, that's going to be about it for today's video, and of course I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, you can always let me know simply by smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and I will see you all next time. Peace.